Okay, I want to talk about this idea about the way people want to be loved versus the way we want to love them. The way we want to love people is the way that we're loved. And the guy who really figured this out, the guy that literally wrote the book on it, is a guy named Gary Chapman. He was a family counselor, actually an ordained minister, I think. Anyway, you want to run out immediately and get this guy's books, The 5 Languages of Love by Gary Chapman. And we're going to do a couple little demonstrations here about what it looks like when you're trying to love somebody the way they don't want to receive love. In this first scene, he loves physical touch, but she likes acts of service. She wants to know that you've done something for her that makes her feel loved.
Guess what? I made your favorite meal. I got chicken parm, just like your grandmother used to make. I got rosemary potatoes. It's all in the oven.
Yeah, okay.
What, where's my dry cleaning?
Oh, you know, I just didn't have the time.
You didn't have the time?
Yeah, we had a long meeting.
You said you had the time this morning.
This morning I thought I had the time.
And when I texted you in the afternoon.
In the afternoon I thought I had the time too, but you know, it just things came up. You know,
things came up?
There's a lot of traffic in the
You know,
tunnel.
it's a 5-minute way out of your commute.
In this scene, basically the love language that she's playing is acts of service. And it's important to her. It really makes her feel loved if he picked up the dry cleaning. And the problem is that when he forgets to pick up the dry cleaning, it's not just, hey, you never listen. It doesn't occur that way to her. The way it occurs to her is, you don't love me. And anything that he says to be defensive just falls flat. Anything he says to be like, well, it's not such a bad thing, just falls flat, because it is such a bad thing to her. What she's getting is, I'm not sure this guy even loves me. Like, I'm not feeling loved. And in the moment we don't feel loved by our partner, we start to freak out a little bit. We start to get a little sketched out. And so that's what's going on here. Meanwhile, he's going for his love language. He wants touch. He wants touch, but he's not getting it. And so he's getting sketched out, she's getting sketched out, and everything falls apart.
It would have really meant a lot to me if you could have just picked it up and showed you actually care and you listen to me when I say something to you.
I listen to you. I listen
Do
to
you?
all. Yeah,
Do you?
I do. I really
I
do.
told you I really wanted that dress to wear tomorrow morning to work.
You know, they open up at 7. I guess you could just go.
Do you even care about me?
But now, take a look at how this would play differently if he was aware that acts of service meant something to her. If he was aware that when he failed at the act of service, she'd be feeling unloved. And the only way out of that is to validate that he understands it's important to her. And the only way to do that is to know what's important to her. And it's the same thing for her. She knows that he can get his cookie if she just puts her hand on him. So knowing this stuff is important. Let's see how it plays out that way.
Look, babe, I screwed up. I know that doing little things like getting your dry cleaning when you ask, that makes you feel loved. And that I didn't do it, you don't feel loved. Look, babe, I love you. And I'm upset with myself that I didn't do what makes you feel loved. I mean, you made a dinner that makes you feel good, that makes you feel happy that you could do that for me.
Yeah, I put a lot of effort into it.
And I know you did. And today, you're a much better partner than I was.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
I'll do better next time.
You better.
I don't want to sound like a television commercial for it, but go out and get Gary's book. It's amazing. Once you kind of see for yourself the power in this, it opens up conversations between you and your lover. And I don't care if you've been married for 20, 30 years to somebody, you could still be getting this wrong. In fact, you could be bickering about this stuff for 20 or 30 years. And when you understand the love languages, when you start really working with this stuff and opening up those conversations, it can change your relationship overnight. So big shout out to Gary Chapman. Go pick up his book. And I think he's got a couple of other books also, like workbooks around this. Get them if you're in a relationship. It'll make a huge difference in your life. And of course, don't forget to come over to alexallman.com. I got a lot more cool tips and some more recommendations for you. And subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next week.